I wanted to start creating my own game. This time I won't fail. I won this time. I won't fail. This time I won't fail. In the last years I failed so many times. I failed in creating my first animated short movie. I failed when I wanted to create my first game. And I failed again when I wanted to create my second animated short movie. I have a good track record of failing. I want to create my own game and I want to make sure I won't fail. That's why I'm trying to start this Game Devlog series and bring you along my journey in creating my dream game. It's time to introduce myself. I've been living in London for the last 5 years with my girlfriend and I've been working in the VFX and advertising industry. So I thought, why not give it a go at games? My name is Ferdinando, but you can call me Ferdi. About 6 months ago, I made a video where I tried to create a game with the same logic of time travel that the movie Tenet has. It was quite messy because I've done everything in like 3 days, but a lot of you guys really liked the idea. Why not using that and make it into a proper game? Something you guys can actually play. I really want to create something small. I'm gonna write a goal and I'm gonna create a Trello board where I can track all the progress I've done so far. Because that's the key at the end of the day. If I want to be able to finish something, I need to have a clear idea of the size of the game and all the features. Otherwise I'm gonna fail like I've done for all the other different projects because I was aiming too high. I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel, so I started using this easy character control that I bought months ago on the asset store. It's really easy and it has a lot of function already built in, so I can just expand the functionality I want, like the time travel control, and just include it in my game. I also decided to use a placeholder character as something I created last year for my previous game that never seen the light of the day. And if you guys have seen other videos, you know I love to use Mixamo for really quick animation, because in combination with the character it gives us really good animation, ready to use and ready to go in Unity. And I'm glad to present you this banana spaceman that is gonna be with us for a little while till I figure out what kind of character I want. With that, we completed phase 1, so we have a really basic character that moves, jumps, double jumps, track if he's on the ground, if he's flying, and all the basic stuff that every game should have. Key idea that I have for now would be like a puzzle platform game where you move around with your controller and whatever you hit the travel coin, your clone starts going back in time. Your cloner could be the way you damage your enemies rather than you damaging your enemies. You are defenseless, but when your cloner travels back in time, that's the way you deal damage to the enemy. And that seems like a kind of complex dynamics, but really interesting because I'm limiting the player, but at the same time, he has the power to do damage but traveling back in time, so you need to plan your actions really carefully, otherwise you're not gonna be able to survive that long, right? And that, mixed with a classic puzzle game mechanic, seems quite an interesting idea. The entire game revolves around the idea of time travel, so we need to find a way to reverse the player movement. Last time I was recording position, rotation, and all the animation for every single frame. And when you think about it, it's like recording 3 values for the position, 3 values for the rotation, 1 value for every single animation that we have, 1 bajillion values every single frame. That solution wasn't really optimized, so I had to find a different way. I kept the same logic but not recording all the information every single frame. And I'm interpolating in between, and actually it seems like my frame rate is quite good. Okay, so I got stuck a little bit. Unity developed this latest input system that should actually make your life easier. So you can just connect your controller or your mouse or keyboard or whatever you want at the same time without worrying of different input. The problem is I can't figure out why it's not working. So I've been spending the last like 3 hours trying to understand what is wrong, and I don't know. I'm just trying. In the end it didn't work, so I'm gonna leave it for now and I'm gonna move on and take a look later on. Did manage to record some really interesting bugs of what happens if your clone is stuck as a player. So every clone is actually traveling back in time and creating more clone, and every single other clone is creating even more clones. It's gonna be a tough and long journey. Compared to Tenet, I actually tried to test the game as much as possible early on to really get a sense on how it is to play a game about time travel, and probably is the best way to spark ideas about gameplay. And also I'm gonna do my best to master the infamous input system, probably in the next episode or 2. Should be able to create something playable as early as possible, but if it doesn't look good, I'm not gonna enjoy the experience as much with a little bit of extra particle and extra cool looking shader, and also it's gonna give me a broader idea of where the game is going and what could work even visually in terms of style. I was a bit bored of all the cloners looking the same, so I had to figure out a way to make the player stand out, while also finding a cool visual element to be able to tell you when the cloner was about to expire. I started by creating a shader with a lot of different controls, so I was able to change everything directly in the scene and see what looks good and what doesn't work. Okay, so I think I figured out a really cool way to solve a problem. So we're tracking the player every single frame, so we can pass that information into the ghost and use it into the shader to make it look real sweet. Let's have a look. So now when we activate a cloner, it starts with a blue color and slowly fades into red till it actually expires and it goes away. I think that's actually a really powerful visual way to tell you exactly how much time each cloner has left. Final touch was to add a little bit of particle magic that makes everything always look better. I would love to add even more animation whenever one ghost pops in or goes away to make everything look much juicier and nicer, but I think for now this is quite a good progress. It's quite clear what every cloner is doing and it's much easier to track visually each movement and understand what's happening. And actually I had a lot of fun playing with the cloners and trying to spawn them in weird ways, looking at each other or like just running around you. So this is everything for the first game devlog. I'm gonna try to bring the content every week or more or less whenever I get a good update on stuff. I'm super curious to see what you guys think and maybe get some inspiration from your comments. So hope you guys enjoyed this and see you to the next game devlog.